Alright guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be doing another gameplay breakdown, and this time we're going to be taking a look at what I believe to be, or at least what's been the biggest issue for me when it comes to Madden 19 gameplay currently, and that is going to be blocking and more specifically line play. Now this is something that's been an issue for a really long time when it comes to Madden, and it's always felt like something in need of an overhaul, and I can safely say that this year is no different. With Madden 17 there was just kind of a general lack of awareness, and you'd see a lot of offensive linemen just kind of waddling in place and letting defenders blow past them for easy pressure and just generally looking clueless. With Madden 18, insta-sheds became the name of the game, and you'd routinely see your offensive linemen being thrown around, and you'd see the same kind of targeting and oblivious lineman issues that were seen in Madden 17, albeit it was a bit more visually pleasing as the linemen would move around, but they would still be watching defenders blow right past them. Which brings us to Madden 19, and when we look at that, you see a lot of the same issues that were seen in Madden 17 and 18, along with some new issues that can make for a very frustrating experience and a lot of what the F type moments. And I've broken this down into a few different areas of concern or types of issues that I've been experiencing and that have been occurring for me, starting with what you're seeing here, which is just a general lack of awareness to what is happening around them. And when I say them, I just mean blockers, linemen, whatever. Blockers will often have things happening right in front of them and just fail to react or attempt to do anything, and what you're left with is linemen and blockers that just look genuinely clueless. And I wish there was a more elegant way to put it, but when you watch these clips you see what I'm talking about. It just seems like a lot of the time they don't really have a purpose or an intent with what they're doing. If a guy gets beat, that's one thing. If they miss a block, that's another. But when you have guys just completely ignoring and not acting on stuff that's happening right in front of their face, that's when you have a serious problem. And moving on to the next issue, which I've been describing as the lost puppy issue or lost puppy syndrome, and this goes right along with the previous issue I mentioned, because you have the same type of thing happening where linemen aren't really doing anything. But with this, they're not always necessarily ignoring what's happening around them, as they'll often be in a good position to do something, but when it comes down to it, they're ending up either as more of a hindrance during the play than a help, or they'll just end up being completely useless. And I'm going to say the same thing here as I said before. If a guy gets beat, that's football. If they're in a position and whiff on a block, again, that's football. But when you have guys constantly wandering around without any sense of purpose or intent, you run into serious issues, and things not only look and feel less realistic, but it can also lead to extremely frustrating issues with gameplay, where you're getting sacked 2 seconds after you snap the ball, or you get put in a position where you can't even count on players to perform basic stuff. And then moving on to the next thing, and I was hesitant to even put this one on here because it seems like more of a bug in certain cases, but with as bad as line play is this year, I'm not entirely sure. But as you're going to see, the issue is blockers not engaging or attempting to engage in scenarios where you think they should. This seems to happen most often in double team scenarios, but again with these, I don't feel like I have to do a whole lot of explaining because these videos pretty much speak for themselves. But again, you have scenarios where the expectation of what should happen or what should be taking place are drastically different than what actually occurs. And this is an issue that actually bleeds into other areas as well, and most notably screen passes. This is another case where you'll have guys getting out and getting into position to make plays or do something, but they just won't react or seem to show any kind of intelligence or knowledge as to what's going on in front of them or around them. And by now you've probably noticed that that's becoming a common theme with all of these issues, and that's the main thing I wanted to hit on and stress on, is having as little of these kind of bonehead and brain dead type moments occurring as possible. And then lastly, with issues like this occurring, the thought might be that you can remedy it by keeping backs into block, and more often than not, you'll likely have better luck by doing so, but the same issues are still going to pop up. And this is what tells me that the issues at hand are much more a blocking problem than a line play problem. You're going to see the same things that I've mentioned before that are happening with the offensive linemen, happening with the RBs in pass protection as well. You can keep RBs into block and give you the numbers advantage, but a lot of the time he's still going to just be clueless as to what his responsibilities are or what the purpose of keeping him in the backfield actually is. And the result when that happens is almost certainly going to be either nearly instant pressure or a sack. So that pretty much covers the passing game, and now I'm going to get into the running game a little bit. But before I do that, I want to say that when it comes to this and these issues, the run game is miles better than the passing game. There are a lot of times where the running game looks and feels really good, so I just wanted to say that before I get into this, because more often than not, it does look good, but that doesn't mean that the running game is exempt from the same kind of issues. As you can see, the same kind of things are going to pop up with blockers that are going to leave you with that what the hell are you thinking and what are you doing type feeling. With the passing game, it's a little bit harder to pin down exactly what is causing the issue, and I think there's more than one issue at play there. But when it comes to the running game, it seems to strictly boil down to it being a targeting issue where blockers will target either defenders further downfield than they need to, or sometimes defenders that aren't really factors in the play rather than defenders right in front of them. But I think that's pretty much all I got for today. I just want to make a quick little video on this because this has been one of the biggest issues bugging me thus far with Madden 19. Let me know how your guys' experience has been and whether or not you've been seeing the same kind of things. As for the franchise series, I'm waiting on the final 53 roster update. I'm recording this on a Tuesday night, so I'm imagining that that roster update will be coming either Wednesday or Thursday. But once that drops, I'll be getting the franchise series started quickly. I was just going to go ahead and start it, but with some of the moves the Chiefs made, as well as the big contract moves and then things like the Khalil Mack trade as well, I decided to wait on the most accurate roster possible. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to have more videos coming soon, but until then, thanks for watching.